Hi, everyone, and thanks for finding this episode from the National Peace Corps Association's Global Reentry Program. And tonight we're featuring our budding relationship with planned acts of kindness. And we have two special guests with us tonight, Jacque Zoccoli and Lyle Benjamin, founder of Planned Acts of Kindness. And Jacque is a humanitarian and a returned Peace Corps volunteer from the 9th group of volunteers to go to Peace Corps in Liberia. And Jacque was kind enough to put us in touch with Planned Acts of Kindness after realizing that, that the National Peace Corps Association, through the Global Reentry Program, is attempting to make available more volunteer opportunities, more ways for returned Peace Corps volunteers to stay connected in their communities, to have a enduring and continuing opportunity to impact their communities. And Planned Acts of Kindness, as I've come to understand through Jacque and Lyle, is just a wonderful organization. Congratulations to both of you on your efforts so far. Lyle, on what looks like a fantastic organization. We're really excited to get more involved and to steer ever-increasing numbers of RPCVs direction. Really excited to hear more about the program. I'm going to turn it over to Jacque Zoccoli to introduce herself a little bit more, and Lyle, and how she came to partner up with Planned Acts of Kindness. And for those of you tuning in, we will have a short half of our time is an opportunity for questions and answers. Notice that just there that my internet is unstable, so hopefully you can still hear me, and I'll turn it over to Jacque.
Thank you very much, Dan. This is such a pleasure. I am so delighted to be able to be here. And I would like you to imagine, if you would, 6 months of actual training in San Francisco, in Key West, and then in Monrovia. And then to embark upon a journey with some 85 Peace Corps volunteers. And as we embarked upon that journey in the Pan Am Clipper, we realized that we were so excited, we were so curious, we were scared to death, but somehow or other that Pan Am was giving us the Last Supper. And that Last Supper was steak and champagne, and we celebrated going into a brand new world. As we got to Liberia in Monrovia, again, we were scared and really had no clue what we had gotten ourselves into. And when they opened the door on the plane, it became even more vague because it was like walking into a shower. Humidity you could almost cut with a knife, hitting us right in the face. And many of us said, "What the heck am I doing in deepest, darkest Africa?" We embarked upon the steps to go down to the tarmac, which had about 10 different dignitaries who knew our name, and I have no clue how. We didn't have any name tags. And I saw one of them and I said, "Oh my gosh, it is so green." And he smiled at me and he said, "No, it's not." And I said, "What do you mean it's not?" He said, "Wait till it rains." And that thought to me has continued through my life, that we really needed to dust off. We needed to cleanse. We needed to look deeper in those 2 years to be able to really see the people of Liberia, who very friendly, stretched beyond whatever, but they didn't really mind because they were curious about us. And we were there to work together as a team and to learn more as well. So I don't know about you, after 2 years, after several months, if that's all it's been, after how many years ago that was, I'm sure you can relate to our entering another society and learning about that society. But I want you to remember something as we go on into what we're doing right now. no matter how you look at it, you have had a huge impact on the lives of those in other countries. And that's important for you to realize. Even though what came after you, as in our case in Liberia, and they had wars after that, even then, we impacted in a good way their lives. So now what? What then after that? The Peace Corps was a grassroots foundation for me, and I'm sure most of you. From there, I grew in the fact that people realized if she's a Peace Corps volunteer, then she can be trusted. She's adventurous. She's flexible. She's a listener. She tries to understand. And above all, she loves to have peace. So already the credentials had started from college. Many of you are possibly in college now or gotten out of college to be able to do this. There may be some of you that have retired many years in the past, and you're saying, this is nice, but now what? I want to continue, because what we have done is we have this common thing of wanting to make a positive difference. And that doesn't stop after 2 years or whatever long you did, however long. It does not stop. It is still there. So hopefully you have noticed what has been created because of this experience that you have had in the Peace Corps. It has paved my life in many ways. And so what's happening right now is that the people around us are in a lot of chaos. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of confusion. There is a question about what's happening. But you know what? What we realize is that the globe is going through this. We are all coming to a commonality that we've never had before in the world's history. We are all relegated to a common ground. Well, guess what? We were taught how to deal with this reality from day one in our training. We were taught how to cope with other cultures, with people that have zip, how to listen, how to understand, how to really make it work. So we already have a leg up. We are going to be the ones that help. We are going to be the ones that are the bridge of understanding. So at this point, there may be many of you that are saying, but what now? That was the past. I did it. Okay, I did it. Thank you. Now moving on. What can I do now? There is so much confusion and stuff. What can I do now? Well, the other good point about all of this is that there are so many resources. You have no clue. And this is the first time in history of the world that we have had so much opportunity to choose from. Now, some of you are going, yeah, right, lady, what world are you from? What are you smoking? No, the concept is that the opportunities are incredible. And so what I would like to do then is to have you realize, but if they just aren't seen, you can sit in your little shell and say, that was fun. That was a past life. Now what do I do with me? I still want to give. So I have found through the founder, Lyle Benjamin, a group called Planned Acts of Kindness, PAC, okay? Under the umbrella of one planet, one people. Is that not what we all want to do? One planet, one people. And the point is systematically geared to your expertise that you've done so well all these years. There is a way to truly make it one planet, one people. So hold on to your seats. This is recorded, but you will understand, and there's a lot to realize, and Lyle is going to ask you to commit to us who you are and what your needs are. You'll hear that. But the point is, you will understand the amazing resources, and then I will give you a few of my own. You see, I am a global collaborator. I am a word of mouth strategist. That's what I have called myself, and an influence broker. So when this is all over, you can see my telephone number by my thing. When this is all over, I will be here with resources besides Lyle's. Hard to believe, though you will see even more as we get past that. So hold on to your seats. Be sure to have paper and pencil, because you may need to write down some of the questions if you don't get them in the chat before you think of something else that's happening. So without much more decoration, I introduce you to a man that has literally changed my life, Lyle Benjamin.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate that. And Dan, thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of you know, the wonderful organization that I've known for years, even though I wasn't a volunteer. You know, it's tremendous work that you all have been doing, and it's very necessary, even more necessary today, with all the things that are going on in our lives. And what I'm going to do is go through just a quick introduction to the mission of Planned Acts, and then I'm going to take a very broad view of the different programs that we have available. And as I go through this, you might want to take a few notes about things that just strike your fancy, okay? And they don't have to be in your area of expertise, in your background. We provide people who are interested in coming into our programs as volunteers, as interns, even with you know, work opportunities, with all the training that they need in order to be successful. And when we say successful, that means making an impact on quality of life for other people. So this is the first of many conversations that we're going to have. This will be the broadest, right? And then later, there'll be opportunities for you to get involved in our programs. And then we'll have additional meetings that will be much more specific to those programs. So let me just start off with Planned Acts of Kindness is a global social responsibility platform where every day people can wake up and on their cell phone, computer, and device, there's a new daily planned act of kindness that they can do with their friends, family, relatives, right? And coworkers, and in their community. And the goal is to have tens of millions of people in the United States, hundreds of millions of people around the world waking up and doing the same planned act of kindness on the same day and unleashing that much positive, powerful energy into the world. The keys to living happier, healthier lives, not a question of how much money you make, not a question of how much drugs you take, not a question of how many toys you have. Really, it's the quality of your relationships and your sense of community, right? The things probably why you joined Peace Corps, you know, in the first place. Okay, improving people's relationships and improving their community. So the thing is that when you get into Planned Acts of Kindness, you're automatically a member of the Karma Club. And then what we did was I gamified karma. There are 4 different achievements that you can do during the month. You can do your planned acts. You can do engagement with people around the world. You can do volunteerism, no matter where you are in the world, in conjunction with our programs, and you can do support. And when you do these to a certain level, then you're automatically eligible for gifts that we give away every day to random people in the Karma Club. Our goal by 2021 is to be giving away hundreds of gifts every single day. And the problems of the world, climate change, pollution, overpopulation, pandemics, war and terrorism, are problems that are not going to be solved by governments and companies alone. They're going to be solved by ordinary people around the world working together on common causes with a common focus. The fractional approach that we've used forever to solve global social issues doesn't work. It hasn't worked, it won't work today, and it's not going to solve the problems in the future. And we're seeing that evidenced by the pandemic and climate change as well. So imagine if we would have had the Karma Club in place 6 months ago with the numbers that we're going to have at the beginning of next year. We could have put out information in mid-March saying that you need to wear masks, because the way that they're tapping down on this in Asian countries is that they wear masks, and it's transmittable not only by coughing and sneezing, which is what we were told, but really just by breathing. Because one of the things I realized very early on is that when you're out in the wintertime and you just breathe, you can see a mist. And if that mist was red, and if you were asymptomatic and you weren't wearing a mask, what's going to happen to the person who's standing in front of you? Or let's say there's several of these types of people who have the virus, and you're walking down the street and you're getting covered by the red mist with every person who's passing and breathing. Well, you're going to end up, right, getting the virus. That's how contagious this could be. And if we would have had that in place where we can put out the information along with our daily packs, we could have saved literally hundreds of thousands of lives worldwide. And that's the power of planned acts. That's the power of having a system in place that can be utilized from the grassroots up as well as the top down. So the thing is that we are a different type of nonprofit. If you've gone to Columbia School of Nonprofit Management for your master's degree, they're going to go ahead and teach you that you've got to have one mission. You've got to have a clear statement of what your objectives are for the audience that you want to serve. And that way you can have the largest impact. Well, the truth of the matter is, right, that's how you can fundraise the best. But it's still perpetuating the fractional approach. So Planned Acts of Kindness was created to work with 5 groups of people: students, employees, owners, retirees, and the unemployed, in conjunction with schools, religious organizations, nonprofits and NGOs, governments and government agencies, and businesses. And what I'm going to go ahead and share with you today is how we go about doing that through programs that we have established, where the opportunities for you to make a tremendous impact, not only in your own life, but in the lives of others, right, is available. And how big you want to go, that's up to you. But we hope you'll join us and make that commitment, make that contribution. So the thing is that I'm going to go ahead and share a screen now. And okay, can everyone see this? Right, so this is 2021, the year of one planet, one people. Okay, focusing on civility, social responsibility, volunteerism, and global citizenship. And this is our seal for our movement. And you've got the earth in the center, surrounded by people, with what we hope to have forever is a blue sky. We're fully aligned with the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and nurturing everything is our sun. So that is our seal. And this is what I just spoke about, our 5x5. And we have the Karma Constitution, which is a worldwide constitution that governs what we do in Planned Acts and the Karma Club. We work in the United States with NPOs, and in the United Nations and around the world with NGOs. And we have 6 different action programs, from clubs to books to courses to a breakdown of additional programs, and then events and games. Because not everybody is interested in absorbing information and taking action in the same way. Some people, right, love reading books. Some people like attending courses, right? Some people just want to do activities, which are the programs that we do. You know, some people want to be part of the excitement of attending events. And other people don't like any of that, but they're willing to play games. And we do game development also. And there's a One Planet, One People game that we'll be coming out with towards the latter part, well, actually towards the beginning of next year. So like I said, we're working to establish 2021 as the year of One Planet, One People, because, like I said, the tipping points are not 20, 30 years out for the issues that we face. They're actually now. And if we don't start acting like we're all in this together and working in concert from the grassroots up and the top down, then 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the world is going to be tremendously different for billions of people. Just in the last 2 weeks, we've already had something happen that's never happened before in the United States through climate change. We've had 2 hurricanes come up the Gulf Coast at exactly the same time. Last year, at one point, there were 7 hurricanes that had formed in oceans around the world at the same time. And there will be no quality of life for people if we have multiple hurricanes coming through every single month. And the thing is that we've got to start acting on pollution, you know, food loss, hunger, and waste, all these issues, if we're going to go ahead and really have equality in the world. So this is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. And these are what they represent. And we are fully in alignment with all 17 through our books, our programs, our books, our courses, our clubs, our events, corporate social responsibility, and how we partner with other organizations. So if you're interested in any of these areas, we have programs for you. Okay, and then this just goes into some additional information. And this is our website, Planned Acts of Kindness. I'm going to go through some of these programs a little bit later. And here we have what I talked about with the Karma Club, the daily Planned Acts of Kindness, your engagement, volunteerism, and support, and our mission of making things happen with the United Nations and elsewhere. And then this is our outreach programs. In terms of clubs, books, courses, programs, and events. So all this is available on our homepage. And did you know our mission includes, right, dealing with issues related to climate change, right, you know, overpopulation, pollution, pandemics, war, and terrorism. And I don't know if you're familiar with Jack Canfield. He's the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, best-selling series of books in history. He's one of our supporters for our program. You know, it's great to have him and you know, other thought leaders involved in what we do. So in terms of getting into a deeper dive into our programs, we're going to start with our book programs. And we are coming out with a series of books called 16 Things We All Can Do to Act Right and Help Save the Planet. Each book presents 16 problems that people face in a particular area. Right before COVID hit, I did a presentation at the United Nations for collaborating on a book on mental health. And unfortunately, right, that's been delayed. Right before Columbia University was shut down on a Monday, I was there for a symposium on sustainability on a Friday afternoon going into the evening. And, you know, we were talking about doing a book on sustainability issues as well. Each book has 2 experts per issue that says the why we need to solve the problem and what we need to do to solve the problem. And the books are really expert reference books on these subjects. And all of our programs are based on the formula E plus A equals O. Education plus action equals objectives. You know, in my background, I had a rough childhood when I was growing up with family. I started working in New York City when I was 11 years old, doing adult type work. And through the work, I met other people, other business owners and managers on the block where I worked, and they took an interest in me. And that happened again with parents of friends and teachers at school. And it really made an impression that, you know, kindness does matter. And I knew I couldn't repay those people directly, but what I could do is do something else professionally that could help other people. So I decided to go to law school. And I went to law school, and boy, was I naive. When I got there, I found out that my friends weren't interested in helping people. They were interested in the money aspect. The professors, you know, unfortunately, you know, weren't teaching us to help people. And then I did my internship, even though I grew up in Florida at that point. I did my internship with the Attorney General's office in the Litigation Bureau in Albany and wrote memorandums on public health and other issues. And they happened to like what I did, and they offered me a job. And I was very flattered. And I said, thank you very much. And then I went back and I quit the profession because for me, it wasn't suitable. So I went into business. And later, I had a marketing and printing and design company. And I created a prototype for a national newsstand magazine about helping people get the most out of all their relationships, intimate, family, friendship, and work. Moved to New York and pitched it to Time Warner and cable news. And 6 months later, I had a national newsstand magazine about helping people. But the thing is that the education that I received wasn't really suitable for even the career that I was going into. I took contracts in law school, but I didn't learn to write a contract until I was out of law school. So the thing is that education really has to be coupled with real world experience. And today, I've had an internship, a mentorship program through our organization that's been established for years. And we get undergraduate, grad students, postgraduates from NYU, Columbia, University of Pennsylvania, CUNY, SUNY schools in the New York system, but all the way out to California, Florida, and Texas. Before COVID-19, we had 25 full-time students that were going to be working on the books and the Karma Club and the One Planet, One People movement. And unfortunately, as you know, with a lot of businesses, we were affected tremendously. So we are converting over to an online-based program, and we're opening it up to many, many more students as, you know, around the country and internationally. So the thing is that we have our book series, and I will be going through that a little bit more in detail as well. And I'm going to go through each one of these areas in more depth. So This is our internship and volunteer program. We call it our Global Citizenship Program. And it doesn't really matter what your background is. Okay? In all of the programs that we put out, whether they're books or courses or events, all of these things come into play. And even when you're volunteering, right, we'll work on providing you, when you successfully complete your program, certificate of recommendation, resume benefits, letter of recommendation, and even portfolio development. And these things, right, when you're doing them in the real world, can make a tremendous difference in terms of your employability with companies. On the volunteer side, one of our programs is our World Video Map. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a contest where in 30 days, we're going to see how many global peace ambassadors can go around the world virtually in order to get people to take the kindness, civility pledge. I hereby make a pact to treat others with respect and kindness, and to go through life from this day forward, acting towards others as I would wish to be treated myself. And the key is that these people can do it in whatever language that they speak. And then we put that onto our website into a world video map, and then people can drill down into any part of the world and literally see dozens or hundreds or maybe even thousands of people taking the kindness pledge, because we've got one planet, we got one people on that planet, and it's a great way to show how we're all connected. Okay? So that's one of the programs, and you can say, hey, I want to participate in that program. I want to see how many people I can get in how many countries during a 30-day challenge. And by October 1st, we're going to have apps for this program as well as several others that you'll be able to share and do this through the app. We have our PSA program, and that's 100 PSAs in 100 days. And it doesn't matter what someone's interests are and how good they are at dance or at sports or at music or at graphic design. We want them to participate. And they could make up a PSA using the PACT pledge, right? Promoting, you know, One Planet, One People, or any of the other programs that we have. And then they share that with us. They share it on their own social media. And we're going to make selections from the people who submit. And they're going to go into our outreach programs when we do our events, and, you know, when we go ahead and share things, even through our books and even through our courses. So it's a great way for an individual to see how they can make an impact and be an inspiration to other people around the world. And these are part of our volunteer programs. This is, some of you may recall, there was a movie very long time ago called The Dirty Dozen. And this is our program where you get to form your own Dirty Dozen to, you know, around the world, or in your community, or in your church, or in your temple, or in your school, or in your NPO, or in your company, or with your friends, your bowling league, who's not bowling right now, right? Wherever you want. And you pull together 12 people. And then your goal is, how much of an impact can you all have over a 90-day cycle? And then you're going to get recognized and rewarded for the level that you obtain. And there's going to be a leaderboard where you can track your team's progress, and you can go and do different programs with your team. So you can invite 3 people, those 3 people can invite, you know, 3 or 4 more people each, and then boom, you've got your 12. And that's the power that one person can have who decides to go ahead and make an impact using our programs and using our system. So this is done like a movie poster, and then you'll get your actual poster done with your 12 people as well, that you can have as a keepsake. Okay, and there's many other things that you can go ahead and get for participating in that. Okay, then we get a little bit more crazy. These are 20 crazy ambitious, right, global citizenship challenges that people can do to help support and make 2021 the year of one planet, one people. So you can go ahead and say, hey, I want to go ahead and see if I can get one of the major cereal companies to go ahead and put one of our programs on the back of cereal boxes. I want to get one of the, one of the internet companies or some large company to host the daily planned acts of kindness on their websites for 90 days, where all they have to do is put an API code onto their website. It automatically pulls the daily pack, right, onto their website for everyone to see. And then we promote it and they promote it. If you're a member of a fraternity or a sorority, or were an alumni of that, how you can go ahead and bring our programs, right, to help them with their objectives of community, right, outreach and engagement, but then also, right, achieving some of the social and professional goals that fraternities and sororities have while working in conjunction with our programs. Why not see if you can get the Pope to endorse our programs because of our twin missions of kindness and climate change? That's what's available to you, where you can take the initiative and you can do this individually, or you can do it in conjunction with a team. So I encourage you, right, to go to our website, go under engagement. You'll see all of these programs and you can get a little bit more in depth with them. Going back to our books, this is the cover of a book on civility, social responsibility, and global citizenship, dealing with a lot of the issues that people face in communities. This is another sustainable development book that we were working on, possibly doing with Kroger Groceries on food loss, hunger, and waste. That goes into the 16 problems associated with this and what the experts say need to be done to solve those issues. Let's see. Okay. On the financial side, we have books that go into financial literacy and planning and teach concepts that aren't being taught properly by our educational institutions, even if our majors were finance, economics, and business, because unfortunately, all we are taught in school is the Wall Street method, the Wall Street way. And as we know, Wall Street works for Wall Street. Wall Street doesn't work for 95% of the population. So we have an educational book, workshop series called Money Matters Mastery on this. And we also have a work program that could go ahead and have you helping people in this area through a government regulated, government licensed program in as little as 3 months, making a difference in the lives of families. And that can be anywhere in the United States and Canada. In worldwide, the regulations are different. So, but these are very important things that people need to go ahead and understand about how money really works, not just what we're told by our banks, and the companies that we work for. So these are the issues that it goes into. We also have custom corporate benefit programs that go into schools and companies and organizations and even religious organizations, where we can help set up for them ways to go ahead and help their employees, their contractors, their families and spouses that ordinarily are not available through 401k plans, which are retirement plans that companies give, 403b, which are nonprofit retirement plans, and then even 457 government plans. So if you're interested in helping people with income inequality, retirement, children's education, having a safety net, preventing the #1 cause of bankruptcy in this country, which is healthcare. Okay, and it's not where you get the, you break your arm and you have to go to the, emergency care. It's long-term care, chronic care, dementia, and Alzheimer's. 7 out of 10 people are going to be afflicted by these 4 things, one of these 4 things over their lifetime. The average cost today is $250,000. Most people don't have $50,000 in their retirement. As we saw, right, when the government was shut down a couple of years ago, 700,000 federal employees were out of work. Within 1 to 2 paycheck cycles, the majority of them needed financial help because they couldn't buy groceries, let alone pay their rent or mortgage. So the plans that we have in effect are not effective for us. So we need to go ahead and have alternatives where we get safety, growth, protection, and when we need our money, we can pull it out without penalties and we can pull it out without taxes. And where do we get those programs? From the multi-billion-dollar companies, which set them up for the rich, because the rich set up the tax code, but they set it up for themselves. So we go in and we make education available, and then we make plans available, and we do not charge the people that we help for the work that we do, unlike other financial advisors, right, who charge for no education, but then charge for analysis. So we charge nothing. We don't charge the companies, we don't charge the organizations for making the plans and the programs available. We do not charge the families who need the help. So if you want to learn how you can get involved in something like that, where you can make a difference in your community, contact us. We'll share how you can do that very easily. Okay. We have our One Planet, One People Club program. Before COVID-19, I was talking to the Minister of Education in Beijing about putting our club program into their educational system. I was talking to the Department of Education in New York City about putting this into the secondary school system, where they've got something, 1,600 schools in New York, and making it available. And in this program, we utilize, right, the same structure as we do in all of our other programs in terms of, right, outreach and engagement. And through the clubs, all of these other programs, right, are available, whether it's the Karma Club, the club itself, starting chapters in, other countries, starting chapters in conjunction with schools or organizations, and then really going ahead and making a change in people's quality of life around the world. So this was, some of the things we did with Climate Strike. This is our involvement with Peace in the Park, which unfortunately this year, that's in conjunction with the organization Brahma Kumaris, international organization. And they had decided not only to have us participate in the New York program, but they wanted us to partner with their chapters all over the world and bring Peace in the Park and our programs to people in those communities as well. Unfortunately, COVID-19 did a number on that program as well, but we still are participating in some online activities. So this is One Planet, One People. We're going to have forums on this on a regular basis in 2021. So if you want to make a difference, right, and you want to do it in conjunction with this program, by all means, get in touch. Now, getting a little bit more immediate with what's going on in the world, we have developed 2 programs that center around COVID-19. One is that this is a book that I've written called Legacy Lifelines Memorial COVID-19 Special Edition. And it's a way to keep the joy and happiness of a lost loved one alive for yourself, your family, as well as generations to come. And our organization has pledged to give away a free book to every family in the world who's lost a loved one due to COVID-19. But in order to do that, we need the help of organizations like Peace Corps, as well as companies from around the world and NGOs, because we partner with you all and them, and then allow you to go ahead and pass this on to your audience, to your members, okay, to your staff, to your clients, right, to your prospects, and you get to show your social responsibility. Okay, so again, we don't charge organizations for partnering with us. We want them to get the credit for helping distribute, right, the books. So coming up in October, unfortunately, in the United States, we will have lost 250,000 people. That's a crime. And it shouldn't have happened this way. Worldwide, it's going to be 1 million people, right? I know what it's like to go ahead and lose family members suddenly. I lost my father, my stepmother, and my little sister through a plane crash that was that happened because of a hurricane that was actually hundreds of miles away, that had already dispersed, but it kicked up a freak storm over the Chesapeake Bay. And my father was a very experienced private pilot that never did anything that was remotely unsafe. But during the storm, his plane was hit by lightning. And they were all killed. So the thing is that it's not just 1 million people that passed because of COVID-19. It's all the lives that were affected from the people that survived. And their lives will never be the same again. So if we can do something to help them heal, that's what we're going to do. And that's why, you know, we're doing this program. And you can get involved and you can make a difference in getting that out. And at the same time, we're creating COVID-19 Memorial Day starting in October. And every month, we're going to have a Memorial Day, which is a day of remembrance and celebration. And we're getting governments around the world to go ahead and issue resolutions and proclamations in support of that. And the books will be available to other countries as well to distribute to their people. And you can be a part of that program. We are looking to go ahead, and if you're part of another organization that you think, right, might be suitable, that deals with essential workers or, you know, people on the front line of this, you can go ahead and recommend them. And we'll be more than happy to talk to them, interview them, right? And share their stories to help their organization as well. So we're asking people to join us on the 19th day, starting October, for a day of remembrance and celebration of loved ones lost due to the pandemic. We're going to have a full lineup. It's going to be a 12-hour program. There's going to be guest appearances from celebrities, athletes. There's going to be music. There's going to be dance. There's going to be, right, PSAs from people around the world. And you can participate. We have different ways to go ahead and do engagement. There are organizations that are taking this banner and putting it on their websites and sharing the information that way as well. And this is an information sheet that an organization can get out and put out to their members with their logo on it that says, right, you know, they're inviting their people to participate in the book giveaway and Memorial Day. And this is what the book looks like. And this is a step-by-step guide. So this is, this is really just a pretty broad overview of a lot of the initiatives and programs that we're doing. And I understand that it can be overwhelming for people to have this much information thrown at them in a matter of, you know, 30 minutes. And we appreciate that. We just wanted to go ahead and give you the opportunity to see the scope of what we're doing, because it just might be that one little thing that we mentioned where you say, you know what? I know someone else who would love to be part of that. Let me go ahead and recommend them to you. Or, you know, I've been looking for something to do myself in this area, and I didn't know where to go. And now I do. And I'll get in touch. Or I've always wanted to go ahead and, you know, build a team, be the leader, right? And bring things like this to, you know, another part of the world where, you know, my parents came from. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that. And you'll get all the support you need through our organization to make you the hero. Because that's what it's going to take for us to be providing quality of life on this planet. So, right, I thank you for taking the time to listen. You'll be able to go to our website, right, plannedactsofkindness.org. You can go to things like the Contact Us page. You can go on the volunteer page. You can go on any of these things and contact us through that. You can contact us directly, you know, through the website. You'll also be later, we're developing an app, as I talked to Dan, for the Peace Corps, which will drill down into a lot of these things and put it in a very organized way so that you can say, aha, this is what I want. And then, right, get involved and be part of the team. So I thank you very much, you know, for listening. I look forward to hearing from you and moving forward. And you can always contact Dan, Jackie, you know, as well. Jackie's going to be giving additional content and some other programs from some of our partners that, you know, may be suitable for you. So please go ahead and, you know, we might have a couple of words from Dan maybe in between so you can decompress, and then Jackie back into, you know, to share a little bit more. But thank you.
Thank you, Lyle.
Appreciate it.
Wow. That's, you have accomplished so much, and there's so much information here. Like you say, it's difficult to digest everything in one sitting, but the website I've found very useful, and really looking forward to the app. I think that's going to be a really great tool for people who especially are interested in digesting their media that way. I wanted to just ask you briefly, before turning it back over to Jackie, can you just tell us a little bit about the organization itself? You keep you say us a lot. Who is Planned Active Kindness, and maybe just a few words about how long you've been doing this and your organizational history here.
Okay, very good. So let's see. Are we still on screen share? Or
yes, we're seeing your files. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me go into one which this might help as well. And okay, so whoops, did I lose it? Planned Acts of Kindness, I started in 2016 after the election in the United States, when I realized that this lack of civility was going to go ahead and continue and get worse. And it's going to really affect a lot of people's quality of life around the world. Unfortunately, that is, in my opinion, what's happened. And Planned Acts grew out of a nonprofit that I had started in 2010 called 16 Things Kids Can Do. And it's programs that were not just for kids in terms of youth, but programs for kids of all ages dealing with quality of life issues. So Planned Acts was originally just a program within 16 Things. And then over the 2-3 years of development, it got larger and larger. And I said, okay, it's time to go ahead in 2019 and branch it off into its own NPO. And it's been tremendous because, you know, the approach that we have to use is very different from other NPOs and NGOs where you have that one mission, that one single program that really impacts just that narrow niche. The thing is that we're trying to go ahead and really be disruptive by offering systems to collaborate between the institutions by giving them enough, you know, opportunity where we can help them achieve their objectives through a multitude of different options, because not everything fits for everybody. And out of these programs, the books and the courses, came the One Planet, One People movement. And there's a whole story about that, but I won't go into that now. But to answer your question, this is a guide to our sponsorship for our book, a Legacy Lifelines Memorial Special Edition. And it goes into a lot of the things that I talked about. So if people are interested in being on the business side of what we do, we also have opportunities there. But inside Planned Acts, we have our management team. And these are people with lots of experience in many different areas. And then we also have our Legacy Circle advisors, which I mentioned before, Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. Steve Harrison helped launch Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. So tremendous mentor in terms of making an impact. Rick Frischman has done guerrilla marketing, one of the most successful series of marketing books ever produced for small business owners, all the way up. Trish is one of the co-founders of the Women's Entrepreneur
Prosperity Network.
Yeah, Women's Prosperity Network. Sorry, I was just doing a program with them earlier about entrepreneurship too. So we have a great group of advisors. This is only a portion of it. And then also we have our success teams that work on different things. We have a college success team where people are in their internship program anywhere from 3-4 months all the way up to 2 years in different fields. where they get to do real world training while going ahead and making a difference. So we've, you know, and we're expanding what we're doing in this area also. And that's, you know, when we have people going through as global ambassadors, and we've got people who are working on building up the clubs, we're going to go ahead and pull some of those people back into our organization, you know, in more of advisory and work related capacity as well. So as we grow.
Okay, that's the size of the group. Did you have any questions, Larry? Party of one? Wake up, Larry. Unmute yourself.
Hi. So yes, as Lyle said, this is a lot of information in 1 hour. I've written a lot of notes. I hope I could read them later. It's kind of overwhelming. I mean, I really congratulate you on what you've accomplished, and I've agreed with just about everything you said. One thing that I've been saying for years and years is that, in my opinion, no one should become a teacher until they've worked in the real world for 3 to 5 years. Because the goal, and I was a teacher and I have my own business for many years, the idea is to connect what the kids are learning in their textbooks to the real world and real life. And there is a disconnect. And kids get degrees and they spend a lot of money and they're in debt and they got in the world and they don't know what the hell is going on because they didn't teach real world lessons in school because the teachers don't know it. And so what you said, you're the only person I've ever heard say what I've been thinking and saying for 40 years. Because I learned that by being a teacher, being in business, and, you know, interviewing people and hiring people. They don't know, like, they're supposed to show up for work on time, you know? So, you know, like, I'm late, so big deal, you know? Anyway, I have so many notes here, but the good thing is that you're in New York and I'm in New York, and I would love to meet with you sometime. I see you have an office downtown. We can meet there. I have an office uptown at 5th Avenue and 27th Street. And there's too much to go into here now, but I'll tell you one story about a friend of mine who had a goal and unfortunately passed away at a young age, but he was a great guy and he had one goal. You have like one big goal with a lot of smaller goals to get to the big goal. So my friend and I, among other businesses, were in the calendar business. He decided to get Earth Day put in every calendar published in the world, to be on the calendars. And he worked tirelessly on that. He went to the UN. He contacted all the calendar companies in the world. And he got Earth Day on most calendars. And so he did what you're doing with just one part. You obviously can't do all the parts yourself, so you're looking for other people to work with you to work on specific parts. But he did that. Is my friend Melvin up in Maine, and everyone thought he was crazy, but he actually got just about every calendar company he contacted to put Earth Day on the calendar. So I've seen what one person with a mission, a good mission, to can accomplish. So there's too much again to go into here, but I just want to say at first I'm thinking like, what is it with this guy? I mean, how could he doing so many things? And I can tell you have a design background. I'm in the business of design as part of what I do, and I'm very impressed with your graphics.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, they're done really well. They're for adults, they're for children, they're for everyone. It seems like you have like one designer has a look. That's my guess, because everything kind of flows similarly. Maybe he has people working with her, but it's a very cohesive art style, design style. And really, I thought you were some charlatan, really, like saying, well, no, I mean, you were like all those people you showed, you know, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Mandela,
But
you
thank you,
know,
not there yet.
everyone, you know, you're like trying to do what everyone's been trying to do. But the takeaway is that, like, I'm very impressed. I'd like to meet with you.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of skills, and I have 10,000 contacts in my phone. These are people I've met over the years, and I got everyone's business card and kept it. And I'm pretty good at networking. And I do a lot of questions, a lot of suggestions, a lot of ideas. And I'd like to meet with you and see if I could be of help.
Let's set it up through Zoom, okay, initially, if you don't mind that, because we're still pretty much doing the social distancing thing.
Well, I saw your phone number. I saw your cell number. You know, I don't know your email, but, you know, I could figure out how to.
Just text me.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And then we'll do it. And we can do it this week. I'm all for doing, you know, when people say, oh, let's talk in 2 weeks, I say, you know, let's go ahead and do 30 minutes, you know, in 3 days. Okay.
I agree. I mean, I just got back from the West Coast.
Right.
I'm out of work. The business I'm in collapsed right after the pandemic started. I still have an office. I still have a business, but, you know, it's not producing any income. I have no activities I can do at this time. So I have plenty of free time. I can't stand on my head in yoga all day. I practice yoga every day. But I'm looking for something wonderful. I was actually thinking, you know, I need to do something for other people. And, you know, you've given us and me, like, you know, lots of opportunities. So on a much bigger scale than I ever thought I would even.
Yeah, we have CSR programs, corporate social responsibility, that go into, you know, any size organization, and they're completely customizable. We have the book program, which is completely adaptable to different organizations. Jackie's working on some of those things as well. And actually, I'm going to be talking to Dan about doing a book as a fundraiser and an outreach engagement program for the Peace Corps.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
And, you know, so I'll listen to, you know, when we go ahead and talk to organizations, I don't do what I just did now. Okay? No way. I won't even talk first. I will let them share with me what they're working on, what their objectives are for the immediate future, and then I'll pull out from our array of programs, right, 1 or 2 things that can help them achieve their objective. And then, right, that helps us go ahead and make the connection, build the relationship, so that we have the opportunity to do education and action to help them achieve that original objective. So that's the way that I approach, right, when you share someone that you want me to go ahead and talk to in the future. This was just for the Peace Corps, because there's such a diversity of the people who are in the Peace Corps and why they're doing, you know, they have their, you know, people are involved in education, people are involved in agriculture, people are involved in, you know, economic, you know, equality, all these different issues. So the thing is, we don't know who the audience is going to be watching this at any given time when it's up on social media. So we cover everything, and then we'll drill down when those people come to us, and then we'll give them much more targeted information so that the confusion dissipates, right? Just like hopefully COVID-19 in the breeze, okay? So, you know, that's the way that we approach it. We're gonna get pretty specific pretty quickly with the people who come to us.
If you would like to take off your share, I would like to share some other resources, not that you don't have enough. The point is that I think a variety is nice to consider. And essentially, Lyle is giving you programs that you can work with other people. You can also work independently. He didn't mention the intern program, which I think is extremely powerful, especially to reentry RPCVs, is that you can go on to whatever cause that you want, and they hold your hand, so to speak, and you work toward that cause. And it even can be fundraising for you, as well as obviously getting the cause done. So be sure to look on the site plannedacts.org and look under the internship, because it is very, very global. It is just everything you can imagine. And then you will be giving tasks, and it will be working through the COVID, possibly, all different ways of doing that to get your cause out there. So I'm thinking of the reentry people. This is a perfect way to stay in the environment without having to go back to your country, which is obviously what you want. So the other things, some of the other things that you might be interested in real quick, like, is there's a group that I am working with that is called Journeys Map. It's first of all considering children from sixth grade on. However, it does address the adults as well. And it gives you a blueprint of choices on careers after you've had your talents assessed. So whether your career is beginning in your life, whether you've already had careers, it will take you on a path and show you literally thousands of possible careers that you would like to go into and what's needed. And it's by territory, it's by wherever you are in the country. And then once you see what is needed to get into that course or that area, that career, it will even feed you the employers who are looking for those people. So it's a yearly $10 subscription, though you can actually look through this very easily. If you want to get a discount or whatever, let me know and I will give you a code. I don't have the code at this point. That's one of them. That's Journeys. Let me move this thing over. Journeys Map. There's an S on Journey. journeysmap.com. And then I'm going to stop the share and go to the other one that I told you about, and I put it actually into the chat. So Journeys Map is the first one. And then I ran across a woman yesterday, day before yesterday. And you know how everything happens in our world on purpose, because coincidence is God remaining anonymous. So the point is, I ran into a woman by the name of Monica Gupta. And Monica is an Indian background, India country, and she has worked in all types of areas, mostly helping spouses of people that are transferred all over the world. So she is a re-entry coach. Not that I'm sure that obviously Dan's got a lot of those to help you of different persuasions. However, she has a very broad knowledge on different countries and what's needed in whatever direction you're going. So if you're having trouble readjusting now, I can only imagine these poor souls that are re-entering after just getting their feet wet. It's hard. It's hard. Even after 2 years, it's hard. She's there in a variety of ways, and this is in the chat if you want to go find her. And any other resources. I'm working with an international group, and I didn't put it here, but my point is that I am globally connecting people. International Youth Parliament is the group that I'm working with people in eventually all the countries of the world based on the age of 16 to 29. Their whole purpose is to get their cause elevated and to work on, again, the UN SDGs. And so we are mentoring them, we are coaching them, we are helping them to accomplish that, to, in the long run, increase love, prosperity, and peace. So we are attempting to bring them into the internship program with PAC to be able to get them into what their cause is. They are so dedicated. It's beautiful to watch them. So that's where I get the international grassroots. These are the kids in my world, very dedicated, such as yourselves, that want to go make a positive difference. They don't worry about the past. All they know is that there are things out there that need to be accomplished, and they're going to go out and do it. So here are some resources, and if that's not enough, contact me. My contact information is at the bottom, and I have a huge database. I come to any conversation with my database in my brain. If I can't remember the person's name, I will find it. I have a good categorizing, and I am more than happy to be able to listen to what you're doing. I have a Clarity from Chaos session, and that's exactly what I do on Zoom, is I listen to where you are, I brainstorm on where you can be, and give you people on that path to get you there. So please do take that as an advantage for yourself, and let me know if in any way I can guide you to the next career. And I think that's just about it. Increasing love, prosperity, and peace is what we're all about. And be open to wonder rather than closed by belief. Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate this time, and I hope that there will be people who will look at this and say, yeah, let's make this happen. There's so many ways to volunteer. And by the way, Planned Acts of Kindness is not a membership subscription, $25 a month thing like everybody else is. You come as a volunteer or as an intern, that's what it's all about.
And also we have, work on career opportunities as well through our different programs. So, we have different, whether you want to work with schools, whether you want to work with churches and nonprofits, whether you want to work with even government agencies and businesses, you can actually specialize in terms of who you're doing outreach engagement, right? And we have a lot of business development within our programs that you can participate in. We'll provide all the training that you need. And you're right, when you're successful, you're really successful. We're not talking about putting out 5,000 books on mental health. We're talking about putting out 100,000 books. We're talking about the books forming the basis of One Planet, One People workshops, where you have built in, because of the scholarships we set up for the featured experts, the 32 featured experts, each one gets a scholarship in their name with books and materials to go ahead and benefit 500 youth or people in disadvantaged areas. So from one book title, we have over 16,000 people who can participate in the free Better Communication Literacy workshops. And that's the minimum number. And inside every book, it has all the information they need to go ahead and set up their own workshops and get the benefits from that.
So much potential.
Yes.
Jackie, thank you so much for connecting Peace Corps and our community to Lyle and this amazing opportunity to continue having an impact. We say in Peace Corps that as you close your service, most volunteers will remember COS is their close of service process, but we like to redesignate that acronym to continuation of service. And that's what the third goal of Peace Corps is all about, is continuing to make the world smaller. I like the tagline of One World, and continue to give back. And we do that in so many ways through our affiliate groups. And the goal of Global Reentry is to amplify that that mission and make opportunities like this available. And it seems like we could do all of that through planned acts of kindness alone. So let's continue talking. I know we already have something in the books for us, but I'm going to end the recording here at exactly 90 minutes.